I'm trying to learn not to laugh, um, just so I won't embarrass him. And there are some of his
Gerry.
jokes I'm just not with the times or know what he's talking about. So some of them I can't laugh, and it just kind of throws me off. I think the one
You can say they're not funny. Some of his jokes aren't funny, so you don't laugh at those ones, and that's fair.
How to survive the classroom.
Hey, teacher besties. I am so excited to share with you that my book, They Never Taught Us That, is available right now. It is everything an experienced or first-year teacher needs to manage the chaos of a modern classroom, including some anecdotes to make you feel a little bit better, because if there is a way that you can screw up, I've probably done it. It also has advice on how to build trust with families, how to manage grading and lesson plans and IEPs, and everything else that they never went over in your teacher prep program. They Never Taught Us That is available everywhere right now. Hey, teacher besties. Welcome to How to Survive the Classroom. This is our second of two very special Mother's Day episodes. Last time we had my mom on, and this time we have Gerry's mom on, Melanie Potoka. Melanie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And this is extra special because Miss Potoka is also an educator.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So now, Miss Potoka, what do you teach and how long have you been teaching?
Around 10 years, I believe, and I teach fifth grade math and science.
Okay, awesome. So fun. Now, were you surprised when Gerry decided to become a teacher, or was that something that you were like, he's always going to be an educator?
Oh, no. I was very surprised. I never thought he would want to be a teacher. I always thought he'd do something with sports or some kind of broadcasting or something, but not a teacher.
Interesting. Broadcasting, was that something that he talked about growing up, or it was just something you thought he'd be good at?
No, he talked about like sports medicine. One time he wanted to be a preacher like his pop, but he's just always been good at talking and remembering a lot of facts, things like that. So that was my opinion. I thought he would be good with any kind of speaking. So to find him on here, I'm not too surprised. But with teaching, I am. Yeah.
On the last episode, we talked to my mom just on the parenting side of things, but you also have the perspective of not only being a mom, but also being a teacher. What do you think is the hardest part of balancing mom life and teacher life?
Well, the one thing with me is I was able to stay home with them for a while they went to school. So when I did go to school for teaching, they were already older. So I didn't feel like I missed out on a lot. I think if I had taught the whole time they were younger, I would have probably missed out on a lot. But even now, being able to try and take off for things they do as an adult, and they're both living in two separate places, both of my sons, I think that's kind of hard. And just
Yeah,
coming home, I think at night, I'm drained. I don't really want to.
I'm sorry. My child, as we're talking about the difficulties of balancing mom life and working life, my son comes in wearing dragon wings and holding a shark. Hold on. The timing of that could not have been
No, I would
more
say
apt. Sorry.
that would definitely be Chase and Gerry. Yeah, in a costume coming in, wanting to get noticed. Yeah.
Now, was there like a specific costume that Gerry would wear as a kid?
I would say mostly probably Spider-Man between both of them. But with Gerry,
Okay.
he had tons of costumes. He's had Elvis costumes, Pirates of the Caribbean. Every day after Easter, I'm sorry, not Easter, Halloween. Oh, I don't know where I got Easter from, but we would always go shopping for clearance costumes. We would get them at yard sales wherever because he loved costumes. But even today, he still loves, Spider-Man and the other things where he's got his T-shirts, Marvel, um, all of those. So it's not a whole costume, but he's still got his T-shirts.
I have 5 Spider-Men within an arm's length of me right now.
Let's see him, Gerry. Bring him out.
5
Come on
different
now.
Spider-Man.
I was
1,
going to say, yep.
2, 3, 4,
Oh my gosh.
5.
Wow. You were not exaggerating at all.
Were
Incredible.
any of them the
Gang,
ones
gang,
you
Zoe.
had from a child? Do you still have those?
No, I lost them all.
You lost them?
Yeah, I didn't think they were. Like, I thought they were cool, but I didn't know they was gonna be like they was gonna come back around.
Right. You didn't know you were going to be in your 20s and still buying Spider-Man dolls.
Yeah, I also didn't know I'd be hosting a podcast with somebody who don't mind their own business. Who bullies me.
Surprise.
There are so many things I could be doing. I don't think buying Spider-Man it's the worst one.
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Now, Gerry, do you remember dressing up as Spider-Man as a kid?
I couldn't remember if Spider-Man was me or my brother. One that I remember is one year at Halloween. My mom went to Charlotte to go find costumes, and that year I wanted to be the Situation from Jersey Shore.
Oh,
It was the worst costume that I ever probably landed on, like the most wildest one. And
yeah.
she gets stopped at like what they call it, Planet Halloween, Spirit Halloween, and they stop her, interview her, and they're like, "Yeah, my youngest son, he wants to be a zombie. My oldest son, he wants to be the Situation from Jersey Shore." And this went on TV.
No way.
I
And I
remember
was
that.
built like I'm built right now. Like I was just smaller. There was a Situation, all right.
I love it. Now, Melanie, did you know who this Situation was from Jersey Shore? Did you watch that show at all?
I didn't watch it, but I mean, you couldn't help but know who they were. But mentioning it up right now, I remember being interviewed, but I didn't remember that was the costume. But yeah, yeah, that was probably one of his worst choices.
Yeah. Now, when you went to parent-teacher conferences when Gerry was growing up, do you remember any in particular that stand out? I mean, what did the teachers say about him? Was he a young scholar?
I don't know if he was a scholar, but they loved him. All of his teachers loved him, and they still talk about him. I know one has passed away now, but she has talked about him up until the last time I talked to her. They've all loved him. Nothing ever bad to say.
Who?
Miss Cato,
Who died?
Miss Madeline.
Oh, yeah.
Now, some of the high school teachers, they just knew how he was. So, it's not a lot I can do there. And one of them, well, I don't know if you ever had Miss Bowie, but she was a friend of mine, but she was at the school with him.
She was the first one to threaten the. And I think I don't know if she listens to this, but she be watching my stuff and she be talking like things was sweet when I was in her class. She was the first one that ever threatened to kick me out.
But she knew him well, so she probably had a reason. Yeah.
Now,
I said the book The Giver sucked. And she was like, "Well, you can leave my class." I was like, "You know what? I'm good."
you said you were good, so you weren't going to say The Giver sucked anymore, or you were going to.
But let's be real. Have you read The Giver?
I have. It's not my favorite.
No, it sucks. There's no lightsabers. Nothing. It's
Star
stupid.
Wars, yeah.
Yeah. Did you maybe prefer The Hatchet? I feel like that's the one that boys like.
I don't think I read that one.
The Hatchet, it's about this, like, I don't know, I think he's like 11 or 12 years old. He does have a hatchet, and he's got like he is going to visit, like, I think his dad in Alaska or something, and the twin engine Cessna that he was in crashes, and he has to survive with just a hatchet.
Oh.
And like middle school boys are all about that one. So that actually does not surprise me that The Giver was not your favorite.
I remember the bridge to Terabithia and being in 4th grade, and they were talking about somebody getting hit with a shotgun.
Yeah.
And in 4th grade, they're like, "I don't know what y'all know about shotguns, but that's not one you just bounce back from." And I'm in 4th grade. I'm like, "Oh, word." Like, okay.
That's actually wild.
I should know what I feel like I shouldn't know what damage a shotgun would do. But no, we read the bridge to Terabithia in 4th grade, and my teacher was like, "Yo, you like y'all think that don't mean nothing because it's in a book, but that would actually like do some damage for you." I'm like, "All right."
The only traumatizing one I read in elementary school was Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh,
Did you guys
gosh.
read that one?
I can't watch that movie or anything. I cry and cry. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
It's so sad. Gerry, you never read that one?
No.
Oh, Gerry, you got to read it and just get ready to have your heart broken. It's the saddest book. And the movie, like, I still remember sitting in class and them describing one of the scenes and being so horrified. Because I think it was like the first time there was any kind of violence really described in a book that we read in class. And it was fairly mortifying, actually. So now, what was Gerry a big reader growing up? Because we've been talking a little bit about books and his desire to like read more and all of that. Was he one for reading back in the day?
He liked to read a little bit, but I think he liked to have the books more. Well, he had a ton of books. We had a lot of books, and he would read some, but I'm not sure he ever completed any, but he sure loved to read. I mean, collect the books and buy the books. So we go to book fairs and buy books, bookstores.
Yeah.
But I don't think he read them all. Kind of like today. He's probably got 1,000,000 books, and I'm not sure if he's read all of those. So
That's two people who can't mind their own business.
you are my business.
That's
You
right.
are my business.
Gerry, wasn't there a book that you started like a few months ago that you were like, I'm gonna finish that book? What was it? Do you remember? I feel like we talked about it on here and you were like, no, yeah, I'm gonna finish this book.
The one I did finish is what was it? The Borrowed Life of Frederick Fife. I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it. It was good. The other ones can't remember.
Didn't finish.
The next closest one, I read a couple comic books. I read Daredevil. I read a quarter in a day, like a quarter of Matt Eichendinger's book. The Sticky Notes, I think. I like Power read that before we had him on.
I feel like there's been other ones that you had started, but I mean,
no, the other ones was cooked.
I feel kind of the same way though, that like I love buying books. Like I have at least 3 or 4 books that I've purchased and are just sitting there right now because I'm waiting for the right moment to like really hit, and a moment where I have both like the right amount of energy. Because if I'm too low energy, I can't read. I just sit and watch TV. But then if I have too much energy, I'm like, I don't want to sit still right now. I got projects, I got stuff to do. So it's got to be like that right medium level energy, which Gerry, maybe that's your problem. You're just an energetic boy. It's hard for you to sit still.
You know what's going to be hilarious? If I don't know which side, if this episode is going to come out right before your book or right after your book, but I'm going to have your book sitting there with all the stuff that I haven't read, but I'm like, I have it.
You know
I own the book.
I appreciate the support. Because let me tell you, this week, let me just say, first of all, so my book, it comes out officially on May 5th. So it will be officially out when this airs. And my husband, Steven, really, really wanted me to do something to commemorate it. He's like, you should do a book signing, at least do like a book release party, book signing stuff. I did not want to do it for whatever reason. Like, I don't mind selling tickets to a comedy show. I don't mind like talking about like the comedy stuff. It felt weird to schedule and host like a book signing, book release party type thing. But I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So I do it. And then I put these little like invites in my coworkers' boxes because I work at a college and like everyone's always like inviting each other to stuff. And I would say about half of them ended up back in my box. Like they took them out of their box, put them back into my box. And one was sitting in the trash, like at the top of the pile of trash. And I was like, well, this is why I don't want to do these things. Like so uncomfortable. And it's tonight. I have no idea who is coming. No clue. It's one of those things where it's almost like you kind of hope nobody comes. You can just go home. Like one of them, like I just want to wear comfortable pants and eat tacos right now. I don't want to go and have to be like, let's celebrate me. Like that feels weird to me. So, you sitting there having my book at some point next to you, but not reading it. That's actually in my comfort zone, Gerry. So that's fine. The beginnings of the chapters have funny stories though. So maybe you could read one of them. And then you could pretend like you read the whole thing.
It's going to be one expensive coaster.
Oh my gosh. It's not an expensive book. What if I charge like textbook amounts? I'm like, I'm sorry, it's going to be $120 for this book. Because you know, like I'm a college professor. It's a textbook now, bud. Like, I don't have to start charging premium. It's like $25 on Amazon, guys. Just FYI. It's,
So it's my coloring book.
oh my gosh, is it really?
Yeah. I don't want people to order on Amazon. I want people to buy it for me.
Yeah, and I hadn't bought it yet, so.
I was going to say, do you have that, Miss Potoka? Do you have his
I
coloring
don't
book?
yet because I'm a public school teacher in South Carolina, and the pay, I need to eat instead of color. So maybe one day he might gift me one for Mother's Day or something.
I
Yeah,
was-
you can do.
I
You
was
can do
going to
both.
say, Gerry, you could give it to her for Mother's Day.
That's a
what
good
is- what
plan,
is-
actually, because these cost me like $3.
You better not say that on here.
could-
You're not going to get anybody to buy it for 25.
Exactly.
You better edit that
Look at
part
that.
I
out.
did say 3. I meant 24.
Yeah.
That's right. You're only netting $1 off of each and every book.
I don't get
Listen,
that. I don't get a good profit return from Amazon.
neither do I. People don't know this. Also, with books like these that are like from an actual publisher, I make about $3 a book.
Oh.
And yeah, and let me tell you, I worked for 2 years on this book.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder.
And yeah, and I've always heard authors say that too, where they're like, oh, if you want to write a book, you have to really, really love to write. And I thought that was just because of the writing process. No. It's because the financial compensation is not going to be why you write another book.
Uh-huh.
Like, I finished this book and somebody said, well, your next book. And I was like, no, no. I did it. I feel the same way about my book as I do about the fact I ran a marathon. I did it. And now we're good.
Yeah.
Now we're set.
And moving on.
We're good. Maybe I'll do a coloring book like Gerry.
Yeah.
That seems like a little bit more my speed. Okay, so Gerry obviously, it seems like, was really entertaining to have in class, but were you surprised when he decided to go and pursue comedy?
No, not really. He's always been really funny, and he's just had that natural funniness to him. I was worried that having to come up with things to be funny about compared to just his natural personality, that would be hard. But it's his path, and I'm really proud of him, and he's done very well from what I expected him to do. So I'm really
Yeah.
proud of him.
It's funny you mention that because I do think that is actually the hardest part for a lot of people who are naturally funny. Like, Gerry is legitimately a hilarious person. You just sit in a room with him and he'll say some wild stuff and he'll have you cracking up. And you're right that you can't, it's not the same when you go on stage because it's a difference of like being able to dialogue with someone and then they're really quick-witted and they can riff versus them going up there and having to have something prepared and have like everything kind of orchestrated so that it's like all the lines are going to hit just right.
Wow.
And that is the hardest part, I think, especially for people who are so naturally funny, is normally they don't even have to work at it and people are cracking up. And doing stand-up, you do, like, you have to like craft it in a certain type of way. Okay, so we have more questions for you, but we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. Have you ever wondered what I would say if my mother and my administrators weren't watching every single thing I do on social media? Well, that's exactly what my stand-up show is, and I'm going to be coming to a town near you super soon. You can get tickets at educatorandrea.com/tickets. Welcome back, teacher besties. So Gerry, is your workspace cleared now? He was getting distracted by his toys. So is it now?
They're
not
everywhere.
they're-
I ain't even show you Captain America right here.
Oh, I thought it was just Spider-Man in front of you.
No,
Also
I got
have Captain
Spider-Man.
America.
Hold on, look! I just got this one. I got my stand.
Huh?
I got Darth Vader.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
I'm really cool.
the Darth Vader actually looks really nice. It looks like a fancier one somehow. Is it on an actual stand?
Yeah, I got like a pack of like 12 stands on Amazon.
So you can stand your dolls up while you're doing your podcasting?
I'm like, I don't like this anymore. So,
This isn't fun anymore.
I can't.
Oh,
I gotta get bullied on the camera. I gotta get bullied when I'm not on the camera.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So now I imagine that Gerry probably has provided some entertainment for you over the years. Is there any stories that you remember from his days in school as a student that stand out to you as particularly funny or something that makes you be like, that's Gerry right there?
Hate to admit it, my memory's really bad, but I just remember, he was into everything. He was always a good kid. He was my first one, so he didn't get into a lot of stuff. He always had to have a costume. He was always doing something. Now I know he's got some really funny.
Can we clarify that I grew out of that costume thing? Like, I don't want
lie,
people
Gerry.
thinking I was like 16 and people are like, there's that fat guy who dresses up as Doctor Strange. Like, I want to clarify, like,
Okay.
these aren't things I can remember well.
How old are you? It was only several years ago when I bought you that lightsaber for Christmas. It didn't have a costume with
I
it,
still
but
have it. It's on the wall.
yeah, so he's still getting parts of costumes, but
Oh, it's mounted.
Gerry just says he's just always been funny and says a lot of different things that are just funny.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't think a lot of stuff in school. I know, he played a couple of parts in school. He was Elvis one time. You were Santa Claus, and you could see his, funny side, his love for, I guess, acting and putting on a show when he was in elementary school. Did you do a snowman too, or was it just Santa Claus and Elvis?
I don't remember doing Elvis. I think you made that one up.
I could have sworn you did an Elvis one.
I did Frosty the Snowman. I
Okay,
did Santa Claus.
so it was
But let's
Frosty
also
then.
clarify that this wasn't like acting. This was I stood and like did a little twirl during the chorus concert in costume. That's all I was doing.
But we kept him. He repeated fourth grade preschool because he was not very social. He wasn't. I didn't think he was ready to go on to kindergarten because he just didn't get a lot involved. And then all of a sudden, here he turns out like he does, just not afraid to talk to people or do things. In high school, he sends us this picture and he doesn't have a shirt on. He's all painted up at the high school football game. And he was on TV one time. What were you doing? Yeah. Was it, or just the newscast? Remember that? Was that when you had your shirt off? Oh, I wish I could open my
Oh,
phone
that was
do
when
we
I was
have-
at state.
Oh, okay.
Do we have access to these photos to share with our audience? Because I think that would be magical to get the picture of high school Gerry all painted up.
I have tons of pictures. I've just got like 20,000 or so on my phone. I do remember
Nice.
he had surgery. What year was that you had surgery?
2020.
Oh, when he came out of that surgery, his backside was showing. He was laughing and having a good time with the nurses to the point where me and his grandmother were very embarrassed. But I've got pictures of his hind end hanging out of his gown. And he was just...
Send that on over. Yeah, let's get that on the pod.
He does a lot of things. And just can't think of them all.
Do you remember anything specifically he said when he came out of surgery?
No.
I can't repeat some of it on here.
Gerry, what'd you say to those poor nurses? Was it wisdom teeth or was it something else?
No, it was kidneys. I had like major kidney surgery.
Whoa.
We can't repeat it because I still have a job.
Yeah.
It's bad. It sounded bad.
Yeah, it did.
That's pretty brutal. Oh, man.
I didn't know what I was saying.
I mean, yeah, bad enough that your mom and grandma were like, maybe he shouldn't be talking.
Yeah, we
as
were just
much
like,
anymore.
sorry, it's medication. Thank goodness.
Oh my gosh. Well, you'll have to tell me later, Gerry, the things that you said to the nurses. Now, have you been to any of Gerry's shows?
Yeah.
Too many.
I'm kind of scared to answer.
Did you say too many?
Yeah, I like going to his shows, but he doesn't want me there all the time, I don't think. because I tend to.
She jumps and she'll laugh before I've said the joke because she's heard them all. And I'm like, Mom, I do the same jokes every time I step out. Like,
Yeah.
there's not much change in time to time. Like, you gotta have to wait a year or two apart to see anything substantially different. And she'll start laughing, and she could be in the back corner of the room. It could don't matter how big the room is. I'm like, I can hear her like she's right in the front. Like, it's just loud. And I'm like, yo, I can't do this.
Does it throw you, Gerry?
Sometimes, like you ever have somebody, it'd be like if somebody's sitting in the front and they guess your punchline, you're like, I don't know how to ignore that.
Yeah.
Or if they like last night I had this drunk guy sitting right in front of me and he would just start laughing in the middle of a sentence. I'm like, this is what my mom does.
It
Just
does.
laughs in the middle of a sentence.
I mean, it does throw you a little bit. I think I've had some people like that, or the really delay laugh where everyone stops laughing and then that one single person will start laughing. That a lot of times will get me, like where I'm like, I've already started to move on and then I hear them laugh from the previous joke and I can't stay focused at all. I also will say, like, my parents haven't come to any of my shows because I was working on my bits and I wasn't sure how I would feel about my parents hearing some of my jokes because some of them are a little bit blue. So they kind of got uninvited to come the first year of my shows. And now I think this summer they're probably going to come to a show. But I was like, I can't have you there because the thought of number one, my dad is a clap laugher. Have you guys ever been around somebody who they will ha ha ha, and you'll hear a clap as part of the laugh. And if I heard that in the middle of my set, I just know I would be like, oh, my dad's over there. I don't think I could lock in and focus and some of the jokes, I just don't know how. I mean, now I've done it enough. I feel like I could do it with them in the room. But initially I was like, I know I would feel weird with some of the jokes. So
you gotta put them in the back of the room.
For sure. Well, okay. So last year I had all of my siblings there. So, and their spouses all came and I sat them in the back at this booth. And in this room in San Diego, the way they have it set up, the room isn't that deep, but it's kind of a wider room. And the booth that they were at, for whatever reason, had a light on it. So all I could see in the whole room was my youngest brother. And I was trying so hard not to look at him because he's 8 years younger than me and all of that. And he's, I think, probably the most honest about stuff. So if he didn't think something was laughing, he was going to give me zero pity laughs. And I just I had to completely ignore the fact that he was over there in the back of the room. It was pretty bad. So now, Miss Potoka, have you gone with family members to any of Gerry's shows? Did you bring his brother as well?
We went to one in Rochester when we went at Christmas, and my other son and my daughter-in-law, they went. We've had her family go with his grandparents. Let's see, there was somebody else.
They saw me open for Gasper.
Yeah, we
at
did.
Comedy at the Carlson.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. How long ago was that?
It was Thanksgiving of 2024.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that would have predated Teachers Lounge and all of that. So that was a while back.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
yeah,
I enjoy his shows, but when I do, I mean, I like to think that he would appreciate me laughing because that would show that I approve of his jokes, and I'm his biggest fan for being there. But I'm trying to learn not to laugh, just so I won't embarrass him. And there are some of his jokes I'm just not with the times or know what he's talking about. So some of them I can't laugh, and it just kind of throws me off. I think the one
you can say they're not funny. Some of his jokes aren't funny, so you don't laugh at those ones, and that's fair.
Well,
that's all right.
Your fans thought they were.
The ones that I really don't laugh at, I think I really don't understand what he's talking about. Because he did one on bedding. I don't know anything about bedding, so I didn't know what the terminology meant. And the joke just went over my head. but some of his jokes
Gotcha.
I find really funny, and I can't help but just start laughing because I know what he's going to say. I think the one thing,
Yeah.
Some of them do suck.
yeah,
Like, I'm well aware when I say some of them, like, this sucks, but I just kind of don't know what to say. I'm saying it with.
I mean, I feel like every comedian has a couple jokes. They're like, I'll do it, but I don't love it.
well, you
Like,
kind
I
of
know
got
it
to
needs to be
try
worked
it, you
on.
know, just to see. Because I
Mhm.
tend to laugh at some really stupid stuff, and he thinks that all the jokes I try and, you know, tell him or something to make a joke about, he's like, that's not funny. I'm like, okay, well,
Gerry, how dare you?
but I'm not funny.
Some of them be terrible.
I think the
She did. I'll give her credit. I don't have it with me, but she told me something to do with one of my stickers, and I just got the sticker like 2 hours ago,
Mhm.
and it's on one of my jokes about me shaving my head and how I chose to be bald. I'm pro-choice, and the
Right.
sticker says pro-choice and has like a gif of somebody shaving their head,
that was all me.
and she came up with that.
I love it. That's such a fun play on it. That's great.
The one thing
Oh my. So now where do you
So
think
we're like 1 for 8.
okay,
she's like, well, I don't know about
I don't
that.
know, that might be true.
Where do you think where do you think that Gerry got his sense of humor from?
I don't know.
God,
It has to be because not me or his dad.
nah, none of my family's funny.
Really?
No, hold on. I will. I told him this, and I've told them this. I think my brother's the only one of the few people I
Yeah.
know who's funnier than me, and because he don't really do jokes. He'll just say the right thing, or he'll do stuff in a funny way. And it's like sometimes he don't even talk, and he's being funny. And he's the only person probably in my family who like made me laugh,
Yeah.
like cry, feel like I was gonna pass out because he just
Wow.
did something in like that second.
Interesting. Well, we got to bring him on one of these days.
Exactly, because when they get to going at each other, you can see where it comes from.
He hates attention
Yeah,
because I've tried to be like, some of this stuff you do, you need to be doing on the internet
Yeah.
because it will blow
It'll
up,
pop off.
and he
Yeah.
don't want to do it. And I'm like, man,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to piggyback off of it like I do y'all. Like, I'm like, yo, you
You're like,
need
I'm
to
gonna
blow
need you
up.
to blow up so I can just ride those coattails and get to it.
and if you
Oh
met
my
Chase,
gosh.
him and Gerry you would think they're probably opposites, but then there's so much alike in so many ways. But Chase is the one who owns the Spider-Man costume today and climbed up the wall at Thanksgiving one time. And when we went to, what was the place we went with all the waterfalls? He didn't wear it there, but he let his brother-in-law wear it. So
Oh, he wore it to Niagara Falls.
no,
Didn't he?
Ryan wore it when we went. Ryan went around and
Yeah.
took pictures, but he owns I think he ended up giving it to Ryan though, but they're both huge Spider-Man fans too. So they are a lot alike in so many ways. But he is funny too,
Oh my
but
gosh.
just very laid back.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, what's the age difference?
3.5 years. 2.5 years.
Two and a
Two
half
and a half
years.
years.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's younger.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now is he more introverted?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you get him talking about something he's passionate about, or if he's upset, he can out-talk everybody. And you can't get a word in. But he and Gerry have always been a lot alike with sports and things like that. But they're competitive too. And don't get them started on a catchphrase because it'll never go away.
Are there specific ones that come to mind as far as like catchphrases that they
He
will
started
do all
calling me little man
Oh.
about 2 years ago,
I
and I don't like it
went to pick.
because I try and call him a little man, and we'll just go, nah, you too little man, and we'll do, 30 minutes at chunks. We'll just go back and forth, and he gets everybody to agree with him that I'm the little man. I'm like, no, this is stupid. I don't like this.
I went.
I can't get it.
I went to pick up my taxes the other day, and Gerry was in the car, and I told Chase, I said, "Okay, I'm gonna let you talk to your brother a minute." I got to go in. They had been little manning down the highway, and I came out, they still little manned each other to about 15 minutes away where we were going to eat. And we're like, okay, we got to go now. I can't do it. That's all they do. But I will tell you one of the funniest things, and I still think it's funny, and I do have pictures, is we went up there Christmas. We were up there for 2 weeks, and Sarah had gone somewhere. So it was me and Chase and Gerry, and we were on the couch watching TV, and one was on the floor down beside me, and Gerry was on the other side. And I had gummy bears, and it was a gummy bear war. Give me a gummy bear. Gummy bear me, please. And they were sending me texts, making memes about gummy bears, saying it in different languages, and they just kept going back and forth at each other with gummy bears. And I don't know if I've laughed that hard in a long time, but for both of them just to come up with different gummy bear things, it was hilarious. I have to see if I
Oh
can
my
find
gosh.
a picture, but it's stuff, yeah, all kinds of phrases, and they just don't stop saying them, and it'll go on for months and months, and then a new one will come about, and that one's forgotten, and here we go with a new phrase, and they just keep going and going, and it's awful.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say, I'm so sorry. That's like, as a bystander, it sounds like a nightmare.
It is.
The people involved, yeah.
Andrew, do your kids rock with SpongeBob?
Yeah, they like it.
They came out with that SpongeBob movie back about Christmas, and
Yeah.
I think it was Ice Spice wrote the song for it,
Ugh.
and we would
Yeah.
just play the Ice Spice SpongeBob song.
Guys, if you're not watching, she just shared a picture of a gigantic gummy bear hugging Gerry. Wow.
Here's one from Chase. If you can see his T-shirt, I would like a gummy bear, please. And it's real pictures, and they know how to change them to have this gummy bear stuff. I don't even know how they do it, but it's hilarious.
Gosh. I love it. It's so funny. Okay, before we let your mom go, Gerry, do you have anything else that you want to ask her or have her share?
I don't think so. I think I'm chilling.
He's probably scared too.
He is. You could tell. He's like, I don't. Ms. Potoka, happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much for being here with us and hanging out with us. It was super fun.
It was.
So again, thank you so much, Ms. Potoka. This was super, super fun. And guys, if you have thoughts about what we chatted about today, or you have questions for us, you can contact us, Andrea at human-content.com, or you can contact me at Educator Andrea, and you can contact Gerry at
Comedy by GP on Instagram and TikTok.
That's right. And if you want to contact the whole Human Content Podcast family, you can do so on Instagram and TikTok at Human Content Pods. If you want to check out those full video episodes, they're up every week on YouTube at Educator Andrea. Thank you so much for listening. I'm your host, Andrea Forkham.
I'm Gerry Potoka.
And our guest today was Miss Melanie Potoka. And our executive producers are Andrew Forkham, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brooke. Our editor is Andrew Sims. Our engineer is Jason Partizo. Our music is by Omer Benzvi. To learn more about how to survive the classroom's program, disclaimer and ethics policy, and submission, verification, and licensing terms, you can go to podcasterandrea.com. How to Survive the Classroom is a Human Content production.
How to survive the classroom.
I can't do the podcast with these Spider-Men that close. Have you noticed me pick them up and I'm just looking down?
Are you playing with them? I didn't know what you were
doing. Spider-Man. I keep picking this one up. I keep playing with them.
Thank you so much for watching. Want more of How to Survive the Classroom? You can watch more episodes right now. Just click on that little box over there. You see it? And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Okay, bye.
Human content.